Okay, a hot July day in Maryland, and today we're kind of going the next step in our daily workouts with Jovi. And what we're going to go now is to see if we can do a little walk canter walk. This is a little challenging to him. He does very easily come back. He's not a horse that, because he's a little bit lazy, like he feels that you half halt and he's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll go down to the lower gate, no problem. But what we struggle with a little bit is his ability to do that in balance. So sometimes he just kind of splats or he just kind of dies. And what he needs to do is to be able to sort of like not into it, but actually tuck his butt and keep his core engaged and, not leave his hind legs behind him, but actually step underneath with him. So we'll do the left side first, which is going to be the harder side. Even for the transition, it's going to be the harder side. So I definitely do this on the circle now with him. He cannot do this yet on the straightaway. That would be something I would challenge him with one day, is to work on that, because that's going to be really important for the prep of the flying change, which is not that far out of his future. So it is definitely something that we're going to have to start addressing. But for now, I'm going to do these canter walk canters on the circle. One really nice exercise for a horse that doesn't want to come back as easily as him is to do like canter here, do a 10-meter circle. I'll just demonstrate this in the walk real quick. Do a 10-meter circle, which that was like a 9-meter, and then you would come back to the walk right here. So that would be an exercise for a horse that had a little harder time collecting and coming back. The wall gives you a starting point. What's up? Is there flies on you? Walls give you a starting and stopping point and kind of help you get the horse to come back and onto your aids. But given that he is not very forward thinking, and yes, we got to get moving because the flies are just driving him crazy. So I want to set him up with a nice bend, and I'm going to keep my leg at the girth, and my inside hip is going to swing forward while my outside leg swings back. Oh yeah. So fail, big time fail. It's okay. We'll just try it again. Hey, this is all new for him, and he wanted to kind of throw his body to the left. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so a little sticky. And now I'm going to ask for a little bit more collection. I don't know what he's swishing at. I'm assuming a fly. But this is just a little bit more uphill thought. And I'm going to go collect, walk. Yeah, so he kind of died on me. I mean, they're not great, but this is what we're out here schooling. This is what, this is the next step. This is a challenge for him. Good, a little bit off the left leg for this left lead canter because he wants to kind of dive in. Good. A little slow on the takeoff, but he didn't brace. And we're gonna ask for a little more bend to the left, left bend, left bend, left bend, left bend. Yeah. Left bend, left bend, left bend. Yeah. And then collect, walk. Come. Little leg yield to keep him on my seat there so he doesn't fall and splat apart. Okay. These will be much prettier in 6 months, but this is where we're at. And sometimes it's nice for you guys to see the challenge. Good, and canter. Good. That was a little, even though he came up in the bridle, a little better with the right hind, which is his sticky hind. This is why the left lead canter is worse, because of that. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. And collect and walk. Doop. Leg yield, leg yield, leg yield, leg yield. Good. Good. Leg yield. Ah, good. Really need to get that better. He needs to kind of sit better behind, for these transitions. Good. Good. Leg on. A little bend. Bend left, bend left, bend left. Yes, that was better. The right hind in that one, it still wants to kind of jab a little bit on that downward transition. His right hind is his sticky hind. It's the one that doesn't want to coil. It kind of wants to stay in this position of, and so that's why his left lead canter is worse, because really to have a good left lead canter, that right hind is planting and pushing off the rest of the canter. It also is the leg that pushes off into the transition. And so that's why he's a little sticky, because that right hind, that ability to sit and coil, it just needs development. And this is why he wants to push off over into the left shoulder and into my left leg and into his left rib cage. It is 100 times better than it was as him as a 4-year-old, 100 times better. So that's why I know that he can get there. It's just patiently and quietly working on it, challenging him a little bit, but not demanding, not forcing, just working with him. When he does it good, stopping and, giving him the free break on the long rein, or as we'll discuss in future videos, using the forward-based training to show him what you want. The right lead canter is usually a little bit better, so let's go there now, and we will talk a little bit about these canter walks, canter walks in the right lead. And so you see, even just to bring him up and on the bit is so much easier to the right, because he automatically gives me his right rib cage, and he has no problem having a little bit more balance and evenality to his pelvis going to the right. It gets a little more uneven to the left in his ability to use each of his hind legs in the correct manner. So, okay, so we're going to try a canter walk in this direction. And this direction, shh, shh. Yeah. So sometimes, him being lazy, he needs to be, good. He needs to be a little bit more responsive to my leg. And so I need to kind of get him, a little hot to that. But as you see, in this direction, a lot more balance than he has in the beginning of our ride. And I just have to maintain. And the walk transition's so much easier for him, right? Because he doesn't have really the problems tucking his pelvis and coiling his legs to the right as he does to the left. And so, way, way, way better. We'll do one more transition up and back just to make sure that he's staying on our leg, even though we did a little walk break. And that little inside bend, good. Outside leg back, good. Not nearly as much as I needed before. And then we get really nice uphill self-carriage to him, very soft in the bridle. Wouldn't want him to live here because he doesn't have the strength yet. Collect, walk. Good. Good. All right, so that's sort of like the next challenge for him in the canter, and we really want to get them good so that we can actually challenge to have a little more jump in the canter, in this sort of more collected canter. And that is something that he needs to learn, but all of that has to come from this ability to have control of the shoulders, the rib cage, the hindquarters, in those walk canters and in this new balance of the canter. This is all where we're at. Again, a year or two from now, this horse I think is going to be drastically different. And the reason I feel that way is because he's drastically different than he was a year ago from now. So that's our little challenge today in the canter work. And that's it for today. I'll see you next time.